I'm Lindsay with Zillow Group, here today with a little bit of a different conversation than you might be used to hearing from us. This is PA Pro Tips, where we're sharing tips from pros just like you. Joining me is Mackinzie Ross. She is a productivity coach with Keller Williams Group One in Reno, Nevada. Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. Productivity coach is a really interesting title. What does that mean? What do you actually do?
I'm a real estate coach, so I help agents new to the business get into the business and get them up and going and get them into real estate and selling homes and really building that awesome connection with clients.
So for somebody who is new or about to take the plunge into real estate, if you could go back in time and give some advice to your newly minted self, what do you think it would be?
I have 3 things that I live by and that I tell everybody. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Don't fight yourself. And it's the sound of your voice. So get over it. Really. I was always so scared to do videos or talk or do whatever because my voice, and really get over it.
I want to ask you about that make or break moment when you get on the phone, having a conversation with somebody and converting that from a potential conversation into a lead. What are your most successful strategies when it comes to that moment?
First and foremost is always a phone call. You have to make the phone call with somebody and let them know that there really is a person on the other side of that line. And the second one is, we're in a new age of technology, and really text messages are the way to go. With a 98% open rate, I want people to see my content and I want people to see me. So sometimes just sending a business card photo is really good. And sometimes just telling them who you are and say, hey, I'm here for let me help you. When you do actually make that first phone call and you do connect with them, once you get off the phone, make sure to write notes about what you talked about, because we're humans and I can't remember what I ate for breakfast, let alone what I just talked to somebody on the phone about 2 weeks ago.
I'm sure a lot of agents out there want to know, when it comes to contacting potential clients, how much is too much? Is there a happy medium in there?
Probably, but I go and go and go until somebody says stop. Or, always the best conversation to have is, how often would you like me to talk to you? What was the best way to communicate with you? Is it email? Is it text message? Is it a phone call? Is it face-to-face? What is it that they want? Ask them. They'll tell you.
So I'm sure you get a curveball every now and then. Walk me through the trickiest question that you often get from a potential buyer on that first phone call.
I try to categorize their questions or their objections into 2 categories. I try to figure out if it's an objection, and objections are usually something that requires just a little bit more information. And then sometimes it's somebody's opinion, and those are not curable or things that I have no control over, I can't fix. One of the things I think we all get as real estate agents is, what are your fees? Or how do I get to the first house? I just want to see the first house. And you just kind of have to roll with it and figure out a way to get in front of them and explain what you do as an agent and that you really do, as a buyer, work for free.
When it comes to information, you were talking about how texting is kind of king for you these days.
Yep.
So now on the Premier Agent app, you can actually send and receive texts not only through your computer, but also on your phone. It's seamless, it's integrated. How much has that functionality been able to help you when it comes to reaching out to clients?
Big time. With being on the go all the time, traveling and being out of the office, I can't be attached to my computer all the time. And having that option to bring it on my tablet or on my laptop or even my phone and being able to text somebody and carry all that information everywhere I go, it's amazing.
Just a reminder, if you want to follow along, you can download the Premier Agent app yourself for free. Just search Premier Agent in the App Store or on Google Play. So now you've made contact and you have to set out on your plan of action. Walk me through how you coach agents to stay one step ahead of what the client wants.
Know your market. Ask lots of questions. Ask the client what they want. Dive deeper into their feelings and their wants and their goals of a home. Most of the time they will mention if they have a hobby or a commute to work or children, and those are really important things for them. Pay attention to those and really build their home basis and home search off of that.
I'm sure you have had clients who ended up in a very different house than they initially said they wanted. How do you navigate that?
My favorite is always, I want a 1-story, and they end up in a tri level. And that's okay. I try to show them each option, one of each, so at least they have a general idea of what each of them are. And we kind of just go from there, and I kind of feel it out and see what they have. And most often than not, you can kind of see what they're looking at and really fall into, arming yourself with information that they don't know that you have. And you can really figure out the path by just seeing what they like.
I also want to ask you about My Agent, which is another new feature that we have, so that when a client logs into Zillow or Trulia, you're the only agent that they see. And the other interesting thing about it is you can actually track their activity and see what homes they're looking at.
Yeah. My Agent is one of those things that I never really thought was even possible. And to have that option to send somebody an invitation to be friends almost on Zillow, it really makes it easy. You can see what they're doing and really follow up with them and really arm yourself with some really good information to make sure you're helping them in the way that they need. And maybe they don't know what to ask, but you know exactly what to do because you're the professional. And being the only agent on there that they see that they can reach out to and ask a question to and not get bombarded with phone calls from a bunch of other agents, that's amazing.
So another feature is that you can actually see when a client is active again. So after they've gone cold, you can see when they're picking up that search one more time.
It's amazing to be able to have that in your back pocket, to be able to reach out to somebody when they've stopped talking to you. And once they start to look at homes and they look at one a couple times, that's the time to call them and say, hey, I saw this amazing home and I thought of you when I saw it.
So now you've really gotten what that client is looking for dialed in. Then, of course, comes the upkeep, whether it's daily or weekly. What do you coach agents on when it comes to that?
You know, to-do lists are always one of those things that pile up and you never get everything done on your to-do list. So one of the things that I found is notes and your calendar. Stay on top of your notes and stay on top of your calendar. Put all those next follow-ups in there, but tasks really help with that. Tasks will tell you when to follow up with somebody that's 12 plus months out. So you're not contacting them too frequently and you're not letting a 30-day buyer fall through the cracks, which happens often.
I know you've been using this feature, and it's one of the new things that we've introduced in the PA app, but it allows you to create a task list and then carry it with you, whether it's on your phone or your computer, because it's no help if you create a task list and then leave it at home or in your office. So now using the PA app, you can actually create a task list, carry it with you wherever you go, and check things off when you get it done.
Yeah, and it tells you exactly when you're supposed to follow up with somebody. So you're never following up too frequently and you're really staying on top of what you're supposed to be doing.
Mackinzie, thank you so much for sharing all of your tips with me and with the rest of our PA community at home.
Of course.
And if you want to share your own tips when it comes to lead conversion and some of the things that have worked for you, you can share those on social media with the hashtag PA Pro Tips. Thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of PA Pro Tips, and we'll see you next time.